What is the real cost of avoiding conflict? I mean, we know why we avoid conflict because it's uncomfortable. There's so much uncertainty there. There's a risk of loss. There's just being put into a moment where the conflict gets really intense. There's all kinds of reasons why we avoid it. But I don't think we spend enough time looking at the cost of what avoiding these conversations, these conflicts, is actually having for us. How many relationships have we lost in our life because a conflict showed up that we didn't know how to navigate? How much time have we wasted in our life because we needed to speak up about something, but we didn't know how to? How many opportunities have been lost because the moment appeared and we were frozen and we didn't have the words to say what we need to say in that moment to capitalize on that opportunity? I mean, think about it. Think about it in your own life right now. All of us have at least one conversation that, if we were to have it in this moment, could radically change some aspect of our life. And what are those conversations? Is it with your significant other? Is there debris in your space? When I say debris, that just means that there's this unspoken tension or frustration or resentment or hurt that hasn't been communicated to the other person. And if you were to have that conversation and actually liberate yourself from that debris, the connection that would be on the other side, the trust, the closeness, the understanding, the love that would be there would radically change how you feel inside of this relationship. Is there a conversation with a client or a customer inside of your business that you're avoiding because you're concerned that you might lose them? But at the same time, there's a frustration or a resentment or an energy that's growing inside of the relationship that you're not naming that's being felt anyway. The outcome that you're trying to avoid is heading your way anyway and can be completely avoided if the conversation were to be had. Do you find yourself just spiraling on your own judgment of how you're showing up to life, to relationship, to business? Is there a conversation that needs to be had with yourself to liberate yourself from the stress and the overwhelm and the frustration that you experience around so many things that you're doing? And if you were to have these conversations, how different would everything be? How much more confidence and certainty and self love and self respect would you have moving forward with the different challenges that life brings your way? How would it feel to just be capable to handle all of these intense decisions and conversations and moments that continue to appear? How strong would your business be if the relationships that you had with your clients, with your team members, was so strong? There was so much trust that was established because of your willingness to learn how to have these conversations and your courage to move forward and have them when necessary. What would be possible in regards to what you could actually create professionally? And imagine what kind of relationships you could have intimately with family, with friends, when you can show up to these relationships in a way that nobody else knows how to. And a lot of people don't even care to, but you do. And you bring that presence, you bring that curiosity, you bring that openness, that lightness, that love, that life to these different relationships, to these different conversations, and the impact it has on these people immediately, and the ripple effects it has as they continue to bring this energy into the other conversations and relationships in their life. When you show up and you navigate communication differently than what people are accustomed to, most people will perk up and pay attention and listen because you're creating an experience they haven't felt before, and they get curious on how you're doing it. Maybe they'll ask you questions around how you navigated that because they notice that you're showing up to the conversation differently. Maybe they'll send you a message later on to just tell you how meaningful that conversation that you had was because you listened in a way that nobody's ever listened to them before. Maybe they call you in a couple weeks and say, you know what, I just did a bold, courageous thing because of that conversation that we had. And I just want to let you know that had you not spoken to me the way that you did, I never would have done what I did here today. And I'm so happy I did it. Understand that by avoiding these conversations, by avoiding conflict, it's not just you that has to carry the suffering that comes with that. It's the people that are involved, and it's the people that are impacted by the ripple effect of these conversations. It's much bigger than you. It's much bigger than the moment, which is why it's so necessary for people like you to step up and learn these skills and take them into the different relationships and conversations that you're having in your life. Because people are looking for people to expose it to them, to lead them through them, to show them what's possible by taking on some of these challenging and difficult things. So many people, especially entrepreneurs, whenever there's any kind of problem, whenever something feels off, they always think it's a strategy that's going to solve this problem for them. They think if I could just fix something in my business, if I could just bring more money in, if I could just get more clients, if I could just solve this operational problem or marketing problem or sales problem, that all of a sudden everything's just going to feel better. And it might temporarily, but I promise you, the real suffering that's happening is not something logistically happening inside of your business. It's something that's happening internally with the relationship with yourself or the relationship with people in your business or the relationships with the people that you have at home. And when you can clear the debris that exists in those three areas of your life, that's when you'll start to see all these external things start to work. That's when strategies become easier to implement. That's when things become fun again. That's when that eagerness to learn more and to go out there and just be messy until you figure things out. That's where all that energy comes from by having the debris cleared out from all of the different relationships in your life and the relationship you have with yourself. And that can only be cleared out if you know how to have high stakes conversations and you know how to do them skillfully. And what I want you to walk away from with this conversation here today is reflecting on all of the current relationships and conversations that are needing to be had in your life and understanding what is the consequence by avoiding these. What is the consequence by trying to have them unskillfully? What is it costing you? What's on the other side of these conversations when you get there that's going to radically enhance the quality of your life and their life and the lives of the people around them? Because when you clear debris, everybody feels lighter and it impacts everyone else. This is the power that's to be had here with this single skill. And this is why I believe it's the most important skill for people to learn, to develop, and to master. And I see you. I see you walking this path. I see you choosing the difficult thing. I see you taking on the uncomfortable action. I see you in your mess. I see you in your clarity. I see you in who you are, and I see you in who you're striving to become. I want you to know you're in the right place. You're in the right conversation. And you're not walking this path alone. I'm walking it with you. And I appreciate you being here with me today. And I'll see you next time.